Hey guys, and how's it going? We're going to continue on this 65 Econoline E100 pickup truck that I grabbed about 2 months ago, and got a bunch of videos on it. It's on a playlist on the channel if you want to see the other stuff. But we rescued it from sitting in a yard, and before that it was actually sitting in the woods at that time. But last video we got it to the point where it can yard drive. It's got brakes in it, started up with a key, runs, drives, move it around. The next step would have been to put a gas tank in it, and then it could actually be driven on the street once the lights are squared away. But it has a bunch of rust work that needs to be done, and around by the gas tank is where a bunch of that needs to be done. So before I put the tank in, I figured we might as well start jumping on some metal work. So that's what this video is probably going to be about. Let's get on it and see how it goes. Yeah, so the gas tank sits in the back of this, roughly in about 4 or 5 inches from the tailgate, with 2 straps going underneath it. But the back section of it, you see that pan's all kind of distorted, and then there's another section in behind that, and then there's flooring up on top, the decking, that is blown out also. I think maybe we'll get that bumper out of our way first, and then we'll see what it takes to we're gonna make our own panels. I acquired some sheet metal bending apparatus, and we're going to do our best to see what we can create or recreate doing that. So it'll be a first for me, and I hope you enjoy it. Just to answer some questions, people are concerned that my lift, I don't use safety jack stands underneath it. The lift has a lock that locks into it. Bring it all the way up and show you. So that just locked in. If I drop it back down, it'll land on the safety. And now it's on the safety. So it's not going to come down on me. I'm good, but thanks. Get underneath to get a better idea, seeing what we have to replace. So there's a drop off here. I don't know if this was ever boxed right across together. Hard to tell. Looks like it may have come down to wherever this lip was. I would say so. Yeah. And generally it probably got a mouse nest or just held a lot of dirt up there and caused it to rot out. I wonder if it went to, because this is open right here. That's a definite that wasn't boxed in, but this probably was. How well do you think those bolts are going to come out of there, huh? Are they nut and bolt? Or are they into the frame? It's a big weight up here too for the back of the truck, because if you hit the brakes real hard, it'll do a stoppie. The back tires will come off the ground, so they added weight to the back end. Yeah, they look like they're going to be a little bit of fun to get off, huh? So a wrench on them, see what happens. I can't get an impact gun up in there, so we got to go the old-fashioned way. Not much room for a ratchet. Try it. Not bad. I'm gonna have to do the rest with the wrench though, because then we'll go get the ratchet out. And the lift is good for 6,000 pounds. So you pick up like a full-size half-ton truck. I don't know if I'm gonna get away with that. Nah, the shackle's in the way. So to the wrenches. We didn't need that anyway. Where we can't have nice things. Where's the more room? I say next we go for the tailgate. See how that does. Front size. They are two different sizes, that's why. You ever get the feeling somebody was there before you? A sheet metal screw. Yeah, that ain't factory. That's just spinning. Yeah, you might have to cut that one right out of there. So let's see how the other two do. That one rotted off. Let me try to get behind him with a screwdriver. Suppose you get behind him with a little bit of pressure. Sometimes not. And you're off the socket. Try that one more time. I think we're just going to cut them right off. Forgot about them. Whoops. Yeah, so it looks like this is all one piece and goes up into the bed here. So I think we should probably, maybe we'll slice it right here. Leave this roll alone and we'll probably come right across here. I don't have a bead roller. I am currently looking for one, but I'm not going to worry about making these recesses for stiffening up. Maybe we'll just go with a little thicker metal. And it looks like this seam probably went right to right there. It'd be a good educated guess, huh? So yeah, maybe we'll cut one of two things. Either before we even cut anything, maybe we'll just try to make this patch right here. Then we'll cut it away and then we'll make the patch for the back side of it. But before we do that, let's get the gas neck out of there. It's probably just 3 screws in the gas cap. couple screws. Yeah, 3. Try getting those 3 out so you can get that neck right out of there. Get that out of our way so we can. So you have to build back in here too, you know. Let's say we start making a paper doll. Let's come close. So we are going to want. Let's go about. I'd rather go a little bit wider and then cut back as we need it. Let's go for right there. We want to bend down around. Let's go start. I'll cut a piece of square out that big and start whittling from there. So I'd say we go probably take. I'm going to call that a 1/2 inch. We'll run like a 1/2 inch bend on the bottom. That'll be that one. And then we need to do a roll and then up. So we probably, I don't know if we do the roll first or we do the bend first. We'll know how to do the second one easier, I can tell you that. What do you want to do first? Okay, we'll do that. Go slice this off a piece of 20 gauge. We try putting a roll on it first, see how we do. Generally it doesn't start rolling the first 1/2 inch anyway. Let's see what we can get. Let's say we probably just kind of do a little bit of that to it. Don't want to make dents in it though, you know. Kind of go by eyeball. We'll make this one the one we use for. So now we need to make a bend going I think the opposite way. We want to go right. Let me look at that. Yeah, so that's going to be the pane coming down, and then we have to have this lip stand back up again. Go look at the truck again. Yeah, so we're going to want roughly that much of a roll. Actually looks pretty good. As long as you make them both the same, no one's going to know the difference anyway, right? Yeah, so let's go in about a 1/2 inch and we'll bend this lip back down to match this angle. How's that for a new toy? Alright, we said we want roughly a 1/2 inch. We're going to eyeball it. We'll call it right there. We'll fold that lip down. I don't know where we're set up on this. Let's go give a down all the way. Try a light hit first. Stick one more. So it's still a little inward. Give it one more. We'll leave it right where it was. Let's go see how that looks on the truck. Let's see what we got. Kind of hard to tell where. I say we got to go in a lot more. I think we need to put more of a, take some of this bend out of it and spread it out over a longer distance, because this has to get closer, I'm guessing, to here. Let's go look at this end first before maybe it's on an angle, because this side actually feels pretty good. I bet you that didn't, hard to say. Should another truck to look at. I don't know if it was on this panel back here like that or here. One is because if it's like that, you guys can't see. Let me get you set up. If I get set up, hold on. And so if I come down like that, it's roughly right about there. I just don't know, was that attached to that? It seems. Maybe this is kind of supposed to be in a little. Yeah, I bet you that's what it is. There's nothing now. Is this flexible? That might even be it too. Let's try to make it match this one. I think that's probably our best bet. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some of the curve out. I'm going to add some more curve here to try to get this closer to here. Like I said, you kind of learn your lumps on the first one. So let's get some of that out of there. Now we're kind of screwed. I think we can. There's a way to relief one of them right out of there. And let's go run one side right down. I think it'll be a straight shot then, and then we can curl it up. That's why I wanted to do it all first, you know? Yeah. And call it there. And so let's go see how that looks. That gets us a lot closer. I think we could fudge it. We actually need to roll just a hair more. Actually, maybe not. Maybe put it right on the. I'm gonna put more of a bend right here and come back and hammer it one more time so that this line and this line are parallel with each other. I think we'll call it that. Always fudge it a little bit later. Let's see how we like that. Still like to get I'm just wondering if I should try to favor it to one side or should I leave it straight? I'm going to curve it a little more right here to get it up against it. So I'll walk that curve out, make this dimension a little bit longer. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it right there. The more I mess with it, the more dents I'm putting in it. You see the ridge I put in right here. I may rework this one, but for now, I'm going to move forward with this. So we are going to need to mark. Yeah, sure. I'm going to mark where the bumper cutout is. And we're going to call it right there. Right there. And that, actually we should probably slice the top off first. I'm going to want it, you're going to want to be, right, I want to weld right in this area. So we'll slice it there. And we're going to do the same over here. We'll call it right there. So we're going to want that on that line. So we'll call it right there. Why does it look so much lower over here? That's why. That's why. Slice the top off of that, come down, and we're going to transfer these lines straight down. We'll make that cut and then we'll figure out the distance between here for making that hole for the bumper bracket. Let's see what we got for That's the end of the rail there, I think. Yeah, that's the rail. And we might... That's just for holding the wire. I'd say we probably slice it. Maybe we just go right up, huh? We'll slice off this part of it, but then maybe we'll just run a piece of metal all the way up and drill some holes in it, get some plug welds in it. Possibly be able to we'll weld the lip of this to the back side of the drop. Might be our best bet, I think. Yeah, so let's figure out what we need to make for a piece here. Cut that out. That one's a straight shot too. There's no fanciness to it. Couple of bolts floating over here. I'm just going to blow out holes for them to go sit through. In line with that. I don't want to be a 1/2 inch from the top. Drill a couple of holes for that to kind of go plop through, because I think that's... I'm not quite sure what's bolting that together. Might have been bolting this piece to whatever this channel is behind it. Mouse nest. Go figure. You little bastards. Yeah, it looks like we got another eviction day. Just gonna open up those rails some. I'm gonna have to cut. Those suckers get everywhere. See if we can bend a little. Hang on a piece of grazing rod. And hook some of that stuff out of there. A lot of the rust that we run into is due to this stuff. Just holds moisture, and then that and the piss, mouse piss, just gets. Take a good whiff of that, will you? Then you go to weld too on top of that, and starts a fire on the inside of it, you know. Not showing his face yet. I'm gonna see. Mouse doing his best stickman impersonation. You wanted to know what happened to your outdoor furniture. Well, there's no stuffing left in it come springtime, I would say. Not far up that goes. Might be under the driver's seat. Might have to get a longer wire, I think. Yeah. So I am gonna spend the next however long it's gonna take to get all that crap out of there. Oh, it's on the other side too. Rather find it now. My Ratty econoline. Take a deep breath. It's good for you. So they tell me. Right. I'm gonna go find myself a longer wire. Go close that up. We're getting there. That's the inner one. This is the cutout for the bumper bracket to go in, and then we have this one that go over the top of that. And if we pinch them right up to it, well, that lip and that lip should line up. Something like that. And again, we still have to cut the outer hole for the bumper bracket. It's decent. The only thing I don't like, again, I got a ridge, a bump going right down here that you got overzealous and bent it too much in one spot. But again, it's gonna be behind the bumper. My next one will be better. If I feel really good, I'll make another one, but for now I'm gonna move forward with what I got. I'm probably gonna go and continue making this side, but that's gonna be tomorrow as it's getting late in the evening. And then we'll probably jump into, and I probably won't weld those in. I may put a couple set screws in them to hold them, but I wanna be able to remove them as when I wanna go make the other panels, that stuff is not in my way. Like for instance, we're gonna start making probably this one next. We'll bring it back to where the seam is and try cutting that out of there and making this whole section to drop in. And that'll be a lot easier to work with if, you know, less material is in the way. I still have to order. They sell this panel. You can get this whole one right here. I wouldn't want to try making that lip at this point. I think it comes about an inch on this side, and I believe it probably comes all the way back to the seam. It's hard to tell in the picture, you know. That's like 150 bucks. And all the other ones we'll try making though. All those we'll try making. All right, I'm going to bed. All right, and it's day 2. I just took a minute to knock out the hole for the bumper bracket to come through, and then just feathered it in. Give it some less oil peony kind of. So now I'm gonna jump over the other side, and on the driver's side before, there was a solid line that came down through here, 2 different pieces of metal from the factory. So we're gonna have an old repair. Let's dig it out and see what it looks like under there. Hopefully there's not too much dust on the lens. So somebody brazed in probably this section. So I said the factory had just a welded seam went across. It's blown out up here too. So behind here is the support for the tailgate, and that top one somebody just had a machine screw, kind of sheet metal screw in there, and it should have a bracket behind it. This one's kind of iffy too, but it should look something like that. I'm not sure. Probably just going to build. We'll concentrate again on, I'll get this panel knocked out, and then I'll worry about this section when we start getting into the corner, or else you're just going to start chasing your tail. It's not like I would make this part of this anyway. It's got too much of a curve to it. We're going to probably knock this out. I don't know how much of I'm going to film. It's pretty much the same as, you know, doing that side, but hopefully it comes out a little bit nicer. I'll bring it back when I'm done, if I don't pop in from now and then. So I got the outer panel made up. I had to come up over the top because the lips rotted. So I made that extra one. Should be pretty decent. Kind of rethinking the path I want to go in life. No. I need to have some kind of captured nuts back in here for the bumper, the hatch rather, to tailgate to bolt back onto. I don't know what it had in the past. I think that's what it was. It was just kind of welded on behind it. This one, somebody put a set screw in. I think even that top one's going to be hard to get to, but I want to weld on a nut. Put a nut, put a bolt on it. I'll pull it forward, try to get some tacks on it so that as I build around it, it's already in there. I need to rebuild some of this structure coming down here to help hold the tailgate and the upper frame of the body, which has, you know, since rotted out. I believe it probably came down something like that. Well, that's what I'm going to do anyway. We'll make the back pan, then we'll make a box that reframes this. We can weld all that together, possibly even this one too, a little bit extended onto it on both sides. But again, getting ahead of ourselves, I need to have the hardware back here to while I have access. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, sure. Might be able to tap that one. Yeah, I might be able to run a tap through that. It's supposed to stick to brass. Damn it. Rip the whole thing right out of there. Hit it with a tap. Fixed. Yeah, the top one's got a bunch of metal there. I just drilled behind it and tapped it out, so we have the upper. It's good to go on that one too. So I went and changed my mind. I want to go a different direction. I took this panel and marked out where all the ends of the frame rails are and put a bunch of black dots on it. I'm going to drill them out and we can use that for plug welding. I'm going to weld around the edge too, but I also want to do plug welding. But I'm changing paths for a little while. I want to work on building out the box on the inside, so whatever I learn on this side before I build the other side, I could probably incorporate it into it. Let's see how that goes. All four are captured and welded and tapped out, so they just need to be, you know, beefed up. There's not much left of this, as you can tell, but if I figure if I can come with some 16 gauge, we'll box in something for the back of it, and then I'll grind back to where solid as possible and just re-weld essentially right around all this to the new structure that has to get welded to that. So now you can see why I'm moving forward with this one. And something like that. It is plug welded and seam welded on the top. I know it's dark, you can't see anything. There you go. Lovely ugly. Alright, let's go start making a paper doll and figure out what we want for this corner right in here. And I'm probably going to have, I'm thinking, a 1/2 inch lip we can attach to here. We'll come up, go the width of this, and we'll just stop, because when the other side's removed later on, we could probably build from that side when we deal with this. But this will be closed up, so yeah, let's go. You can probably use the tin that I have made for here. We'll lay that down and get the curve, because I want to also be able to weld this to that support, and you know, boxes the whole thing in. Right, so we're going to use that end, correct? Yeah. So we're going to want, let's leave ourselves a 1/2 inch, because we're going to fold the lip, and we're going to fold the lip here, right? Or are we going to do one here? I don't remember. Oh, yeah. Let's just go for now like that. Cut that out, and then we'll make a separate piece to do the other side. I was going to try folding one over, but the difficulty level is going to be, you know. All right, so we want to build inside of there. We need to first make that, get rid of some of that material, right? There'll be a lip that goes something like that. And then, so we have to be also at least that far up. It's got to go up a little bit more. What are we hitting on? We're hitting on the inside edge right there. Let's just go clip that away. So we're going to want right about there. Probably I need to make that lip a little bit bigger yet, because we still need to add a piece of metal to the outside of this, about 1 inch in diameter. Let's go. Where is the one that we used? Hard to see inside there. Actually, I can see it from here. That feels pretty good. I can feel an air gap. So that should work. We gotta notch it. So right here, we gotta put a notch right there for that stud that sticks out. Yeah, get in there. I think that'll do pretty good. I'll just remember to favor when we do the actual bend, give it a little bit more of a bend. We got to grind some of this back to good metal yet. What there is of good metal. I'm seeing here. All right, so let's make the outer. How wide do we want that? I'd say we box that thing in. You think 1.5? Go like 1.5 all the way down. Is there a wall on the other side? There is nothing. There is nothing. No, there's just nothing. Yeah, let's go call it. We'll call it 1.5 inches. Then we'll go wide, and we'll make it out of 16. Give it a little bit of stoutness to it. Back about 1.5 inches. How close do you think I was? Not bad. Little beatings. Should go. There we go. We got to put a clearance hole in it, right for the back of the bolt. And we're going to go call the bracket right there. And we are going to want right there to be bored out so that the nut can go behind that. Yeah, that's it. So, how close we are. Right about something is holding it from coming over. You need to put a dent right there and allow us to come over. I need to go clean up these edges a little too. We can marry that on there. Something like that. I ended up having to lower it, so unfortunately the hole I boogered out for the bolt got a little bit larger. But we'll do our best to fill that. So I'm gonna put a tack on the bottom, tack on the top, and a couple probably right here. Then come back and hammer this lip flush. Yeah, I try to get it with a clamp. I don't know if I can get it that far. Maybe. Oh, we just do that. Whatever works, right? There you go. It's all one again. Not exactly the prettiest of welds, but that's right. We'll get to hide that with this next piece that goes on. We're going for strength, not looks. So this will be our next cap over that whole thing. And the air gap feels pretty good. We got to make the area where the bolt goes. Let's go mark that out here. And we already know it's going to be center over that one, right? Center. And that is our lip right there. Line up our marks. So we are going to want right there. A clearance hole. Why does it look way too high? Somebody looks way too high. That ain't me. Yeah, let's go try that again. That's because that line is in the wrong spot. Alright, I looked. Okay, we're gonna call it right there. And bar. That's better. Doesn't look too bad from a couple feet away. As you get closer, you start seeing some of the boo-boos, but it's all right. That was perfect. I have to pay me more. It's seam welded across the top, down the side, plug welded through here, and plug welded to the bottom lip. So this section I'm happy with. It got this kind of boxed in. Again, we're going to continue more when we cut this away and start building this section over here. We can cap the other side, or probably go up as high as you can to go tap into something up here, get more strength. I was hoping to get an English wheel and start making some of the curvy panels. I had a deal on Facebook Marketplace. The guy had an English wheel. It was far away though. It was 5 hours away. So he had that for $1,500. He said he had other tools, and the English wheel was a nice one. Nice, 3-foot throat, quality, made in USA, decent piece. Yeah, it's probably a $5,000 setup just by that itself. And he had other stuff. I talked to him on the phone, and he had a planishing hammer with a stand. He had a bunch of different dies. He had a power shear. Like it's stable. It's just it's a set of knives, but it's stationary, and you put the metal through it. Not a handheld. Help me. A bunch of bags and hammers and all that kind of stuff to form metal, and a bead roller, power bead roller, forward reverse. Nice setup. You know, those are nice too. And that had a deep throat. I don't want to say it was a 24 or 30-inch throat that's on that. That's good for making like this stuff, you know. You want to make the raised seams instead of trying to do it on a brake. Or any, like, here. You know, those. That's what that's good for. Anyway, I was under the weather. I wasn't able to go there right away. And then when I went to 2 days later to go take the ride, he had sold everything off for $3,500. It was a deal. So I'm still looking. Worst case scenario, we can buy the two corners. I think they're about $1.50 a piece. We can buy these. And then this is like $140 for this section over here. Getting there. And we're going to go box in that side. I'll bring straight to that once that's cut away. And we know what to do on the other side now. You get as far as I'd like to, but sometimes just getting set up and getting your feet wet on working with a certain material takes a little bit, and then you get going. So hopefully it speeds up. I'll probably knock that section out, not bother filming it. I said that earlier. And we'll get on to something else on the next video. But for this one, I think we're going to go call it. Ain't perfect, but it's definitely better than what it was. All right, guys. Let's go get a little side shot. It might be the thumbnail, and we'll sign off to that. Thanks, guys, for hanging out and getting rid of some rust with me. Until the next one, see you later. Are you still here? Well, so was I. Got the other side knocked out. Except for the ends are still open again when the quarter gets done. Then they'll get married together, so I don't want to weld them solid. Just threw the bumper in there just to get an idea. Everything looks good. There's no bolts in it. It's kind of just resting down about an inch from where it should be. I think it would be just fine. Everything was repeated. On that side I did on that side, boxed in the end of it, all that kind of stuff. So when those quarters open up, we can access a little bit more from the sides, like we talked about. Bumper needs a couple of beatings too. It's dark, you're not gonna see anything underneath, are you? A lot better than what was there though, that's for sure. All right, now I'm going home. Good night.